The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts are their own and do not reflect those of WSTU Radio or the Little Dog Media Group. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or reuse of this program without the written permission of WSTU is strictly prohibited. Welcome to Crown Car Care, serving Martin County since 2006 with trusted, high-quality repairs you can count on. And now, your host, Todd Harris.
Welcome, everybody. October 8th, 2025, and it's another hour of the Crown Car Care Radio Show. If any of you listeners would like to call us, our phone number is 772-220-9788. Call us with a question, a comment, an opinion, or just to say hi. And we have a fabulous show like we do every week. We are going to talk about the history of tires. We are going to do a case study on the maintenance plan for a vehicle that I have printed up. We'll talk about that. We will talk about an update with Lee Zeldin and the EPA and what Ford Motor Company has done with some of the guidance that was provided by him. Why pickup trucks aren't selling, which is a big, deep topic.
You see a lot of them on the lot.
Oh, yeah. Big problem. And we'll conclude with an I Remember story, and the title of it is 21 Rubber Bands, which should be an interesting story.
Sounds like a song or something.
I don't know if it could be a song, but
Maybe
it's transportation related.
Well, you and I can work on that.
And I'm involved in it.
Oh, okay, great.
Young.
Awesome.
But I don't want to give too much away.
All right.
Tires, if we think about it, probably go back to the chariot days of wood wheels and gladiators and if you think about it, logs, when you'd use them as a mechanism to roll heavy blocks, maybe when they built the pyramids.
Yeah, now it's funny you should bring that up because they're saying the first wheel recorded back to 3500 BC.
Yes, about 35. Yep.
That's something.
And think about how simple it is. But I guess if you never saw it and you were a human being back then and you needed to move something, we really use it for transportation. The gladiators used it for transportation, but to fight, right? But for the most part, we use it to get from point A to B or race for entertainment. And wheels are used in many things, from the bottom of a refrigerator. Many of them have wheels to a dishwasher. That many of them have wheels to a bicycle, right? And when we think of wheels or tires, and what I'm really wanted to speak about was tires. Where does the word tire come from? Anyone know? You know, Ray?
No, tell me.
Okay. Wheels that we just spoke about didn't have anything other than they're mainly made out of wood, right? Or metal. But to increase the wear capabilities and the strength of it, they would put a band of metal or cloth, leather around that wheel. And when that wheel was dressed properly, it would have the right attire. It would have the completeness of a good attire. So
would that be proper attire?
Proper attire. So tire is short. And that's truth.
Okay.
So that's a should. Other than that, there's no other word for it. And that's, I suspect, urban legend. But I believe from what I've read, there is validity in it. So tire means nothing more than proper attire. Now, when we think of tires, we think of black tires, right? They're black, or a white wall tire. And we think they're rubber. But, the history of them is so long and interesting that let's start back in the beginning. And that date would be 1844 with a person by the name of Goodyear. And I will tell you, Goodyear, that invented this process that we're going to talk about, has nothing to do with the Goodyear Tire Company. Non-related. It was named in honor of him. Nothing to do with the inventor of vulcanization. And that was named after the god of Vulcan, or fire. And once we talk about what vulcanization is, we'll realize that fire is involved, or heat. So vulcanization is nothing more than the god of Vulcan, and then you add azation onto it, which makes it a process, right? Todification, reification, vulcanization. I don't know what todification is. Maybe it's the radio show. I don't know, but we could create a process for it by adding that suffix onto it. So back in that era, which is well before 1900, that was before the days of the World's Fair. Remember the World's Fair?
Oh yeah,
Famous one in New York is when they launched the Mustang in 64.
yeah. Like
Right.
was it 63 and a half?
63 and a half.
Yeah, I was like 2.
I have slides.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet, but my
Yeah.
sister was, of them.
Mm-hmm.
They rented, you had strollers that were shaped of Mustangs, and I have old slides of
Oh, yeah,
my
is that
family. And
right?
this had nothing, we never owned a Mustang or anything. We were just, family was at the World's Fair. I wasn't around yet.
Yeah,
but,
no, they said I was there. My
yeah,
brother.
but I have visual slide proof. And slides
Okay,
are those
yeah.
things that
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that are extinct now.
but the clarity and the color
Mhm.
is, the color depth and separation is wonderful on slides.
Yep.
35 millimeter.
Oh yeah, that's good.
But that was one of the premier events, or premier, and it was a ride. You rode in the Mustang through, and who helped design it was Disney. It was like a Disney ride. If you ever been to Disney World or Epcot Center, which is the experimental prototype city of the future,
Hmm.
right? That's what it's an acronym.
Yep.
Those rides are based on, that whole journey through a three-dimensional world that's created with smoke and fake trees and maybe dinosaurs or animals moving with robotics, I guess you'd call it early. That
Right.
was that this ride that was worked with Ford was similar to that. I never was on it. Of course, I wasn't born, but I'm sure it was fun. And some of those original Mustangs, people still have them, and they knew the serial numbers of them, so they have them.
You see some floating around right here in Stewart.
But the originals that were actually
Yeah.
on that ride.
Is that right?
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh
Some of
my
those
goodness,
vehicles that were on the
get
ride
out.
exist today.
Oh my goodness.
And they used a generator, not an alternator, because it was
Ah.
63 and a half. The 64s had an alternator,
Ah.
which was taking AC current and converting it to DC. A generator was DC generating DC. An alternator is their alternating current.
Ah.
That's why you have diodes in it to rectify the current, to take the sine wave and make it DC. You truncate the upper part of the sine wave and the lower part of the sine wave with one-way diodes, which a diode is inherently a one-way gate with electricity. You eliminate the up and down of the alternating current, and then you create direct current, which is what pretty much all cars, electric cars, use alternating current for their motors, right? And that takes DC, a DC battery, and converts it to AC, just the opposite of what an alternator does. Isn't that funny? We now take the DC and make it alternating current, where for the longest time, 100 years, it was always AC to DC to make the vehicle run. But back to tires. We could digress into anything, couldn't we?
We could.
We could. We keep talking.
Yeah.
So this process of vulcanization, sulfur was added to rubber, and rubber, was a latex that is from trees, rubber tree. I don't know if they're currently, but it was one of the world's largest producers of rubber, Japan. Isn't that interesting? Now, I don't know if the rubber tree that you used to have as a house plant is the same. I believe it's the same, actually.
Really?
And they would extract the rubber like you would maple syrup. I've seen old photographs where there's like a bamboo tube inserted into the tree and it drips out into buckets. That's it's a latex rubber, but it's very susceptible to temperature and cracking and hardening. But when you heat it and add sulfur, what it does is it creates a bonding mechanism that enhances that rubber so it's durable and it stays pliable and malleable and it has adhesive characteristics throughout temperature ranges, and it enabled I don't even know if you call them tire. It was probably wheel manufacturers at the time who would evolve into tire manufacturers because they would dress with proper attire their wheels with rubber tires.
Aha.
So, and at first they were solid, right? They didn't use inner tubes at all.
So the ride wasn't that great. Huh?
Correct. Then a guy named Dunlap.
Dunlap.
He patented the first pneumatic tire for bicycles, and tires were first used for bicycles. It wasn't for stagecoaches or carts. It was bicycles. Bicycles were popular sport over in England, Europe, which Dunlap lived in Scotland at the time.
Aha.
So, but Goodyear was American, right? Goodyear was American. Vulcanization. If we didn't have vulcanization, I'd argue there'd be many. We wouldn't have the landing gear to land an airplane, would we? We wouldn't have. Yeah. I can think of many things that you wouldn't have. Traction wheels on roller coasters that guide it and give it traction when it hits a rotating tire. Rotating tire is what makes a roller coaster give that initial push for the cars that you're on, which are urethane wheels, but the drive is rubber wheels. I never would imagine, when I started this research on this, I never realized so many simple things were perfected and created by many a strong man that didn't give up, had grit. You look at all the inventors of the 1800s, many of our great inventions were, in fact, there's a museum here in town, the Elliott Museum.
Oh, yeah.
This Elliott, I can't think of his first name, Prescott or something, Elliott, he invented the self-labeling machines, and it used rubber gummy wheels to move the envelope along as its traction. If you look at some of the original prototypes or models that he patented and sold, they're at that museum. If you ever want to go to a great museum here.
Oh, yeah.
Elliott Museum. Mm-hmm. Now, I believe they may have built a bigger nut than they can handle. I know there's always financial issues because it may be bigger and fancier than this humble town of Martin County can support and feed, but I believe we're growing. In fact, we have a Costco here in this town.
Yeah.
Some people love it and some people hate it.
That's true.
And I have no opinion on it. I just do it. Mm-hmm. How close are we? We've been on the air for quite a while.
Yeah.
Think we should take a break coming up?
Well, if you'd like to take a break, we could do that and come back and get more questions.
I think we're flexible. Let's do it now.
Okay, let's do it now. If you want to give us a call and get in on the conversation, just dial us up at 220-9788. We'll be back with more Crown Car Care Show with Todd Harris in just about a minute.
You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. Got a question or comment? Give us a call now at 220-9788. We'll be right back. Building long-term relationships through expert auto care with integrity, reliability, and a true dedication to keeping drivers safe on the road. This is Crown Car Care. And here's your host, Todd Harris.
Welcome back. Now, Crown Car Care. Let's take a brief moment to talk about where this show comes from and how it came to be. I've been in business since 2006. Got two locations. I have a location on Cove Road in Stewart. The phone number is 772-283-4707. We have a fine organization over there with fine people. And if you're looking for a honest hometown repair shop that does dealer level repairs at the highest level, from programming your computers and networking issues on your car to maintenance to air conditioning, to tires. We sell lots and lots of tires over at Cove Road. In fact, we pride ourselves in the fact that we work with you, the owner of the vehicle, to find the right tire for you and get the right tire. We just don't sell you what we have in stock. We find the right tire for you. And that's important. And we also have that other location in Palm City. Now, if you can believe this, we have 11 lifts in Palm City. It's a big shop. Mike over there is a service manager, and my phone number is 772-781-8000. I would love to have anyone that's listening, if you've never tried my services, try me out. I never claim to be perfect, but there's one thing I do claim. We strive for perfection, always. And I always do the right thing. So with the people that work for me, you'll be delighted with my services, my bedside manners, our ability to get a wrap and handle on your car. When we do oil changes, we don't just do oil changes. We've spoken about this, and I always am proud of it that we really look at your car and we really check fluids and the condition of your car and can look into the future of what may be failing. No one else is going to be looking at your car other than your maintenance for your oil changes. Think about that. Full service doesn't exist anymore. And if you even know what full service is, that was when you'd pull your car up to a filling station. And that's what they were called back then, filling stations. And you'd say, fill it up with ethyl, or fill it up with the super, fill it up with the good stuff. And then you'd get your windows all cleaned. You'd get your fluids all checked and your air pressure checked right there as you were getting filled up. Since we don't do that, your opportunity or the necessity of your vehicle to get looked over is done with the oil change. It's more equally as important as putting in fresh oil is looking at the rest of your car, and that's something we do. Carbon black. Well, tires, when tires originally were out, they were the natural color of the natural rubber, which was like an off-white. Zinc oxide then was added to the molding process, which made them really white. And that's where white walls came into play. Ooh, what's that?
Well, they don't hear that, but you will in a minute.
I love horn. I hear some noises in the background.
You're going to love this.
White tires, the really white ones, which are the precursors to white walls, zinc oxide was added to the rubber compound, which was the vulcanized rubber that was heated with sulfur. Now, that's the filling station, the air pressure line that would ring the bell.
That's right.
If you never knew how that bell rang, there was a rubber hose strung across the pavement. And when people would pull in, a bell would ring. In fact, I might get one in one of my shops just to hear the noise. I love that noise.
I had to play it for you.
Yeah. And you can still buy them, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Now, in 1917, carbon black, which is the byproduct of burning oil at a high temperature. Now, I think we have a caller.
We do.
I get so excited when people call.
Yeah, we have our buddy Bob.
Oh, perfect. Hi, Bob.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Oh, it is. It's great.
Hi. Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about all kinds of cool stuff today. Let's see. There was the Elliott Museum.
Yes.
A very good museum.
Yep.
It's got that fancy car storage and extraction.
It looks like
mechanism there.
Like a big, I don't know.
It's like Carvana.
Carvana is a giant, like a gumball machine that you can move it around and pick what you want. Or those sandwich shops, the automats in New York City where you get your sandwich. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's a really nice attraction there. Nice museum.
Yes.
My friend Jim Ferrer is the curator there, and he does a good job. He likes the old cars, but he also likes the new ones too.
I've met him before.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I have,
so you know all about Jim. Yeah, good guy.
Yep.
Good guy. But you knew there was a car show there every so often, right?
I've heard of that. Fill us in.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember if it's the second Saturday or
I think it's
what,
the
but
second Saturday of every month, is what I think.
yeah, the Cars and Coffee there. So move that Mustang of yours over there sometime.
I will.
So we can-
Here's a question
so we
for you,
can take-
Bob. What's the most valuable
sir.
car at the Elliott Museum? It didn't used to be, but it is now.
Oh gosh, the Cunningham. Maybe?
That's correct. They have a Briggs Cunningham that's built down in West Palm
Yeah.
Beach, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I started reading about that online. That's really interesting stuff.
And they have I think they
Cool.
use a 392 Hemi in it and a Power Glide transmission, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah.
Quite a car.
Oh,
Briggs
yeah.
Cunningham was I don't know where his family got his money from, but I know his family was industrialists and he was a playboy and he created his own car company to race. He was a racer, I believe. And that was what
Yeah.
some of the
Very,
origins.
very interesting car guy for sure.
Cool cars. A lot
Yeah.
of Art Deco bright work on it. The door handles and stuff have an Art Deco-y type, lineage to
Yep.
them. Very cool car. One of my favorite cars actually ever, the Briggs Cunningham.
All done in beautiful blue there.
Yes. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that car many times. I saw that car at Mar-Lago. I was at a car show at Mar-Lago.
Oh, wow.
And the gentleman, maybe the same guy we're talking about, was there with the car. And he had remembered me, and
yeah.
that the car was actually at Mar-Lago. It was about a year and a half ago, I believe. No, it was
Well,
when
that
the
makes
election.
sense.
So it would have been, a year and a half ago, November.
Oh,
So,
well, that would make sense. Yeah. Jim's a good guy. I gotta ask him about that because I didn't know.
yeah,
he
that was
did
the only
that.
car from the Elliott that was there, and it was the Briggs Cunningham.
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
Because that car
You
is
know, bring it
that
back.
car sat there, before they even did the expansion. That car sat there like nobody knew anything about it. I knew that it was a very cool car from the get-go. It was one of my favorites even before the expansion. And it's just the price of it has soared.
Ah, yeah. I only got to the old Elliott Museum a couple of times because I didn't live down here yet.
Yes.
But,
One of my
yeah,
favorite.
My folks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say
well, I
was,
was
you walk down the alleyway of the old Elliott Museum and you could smell the old gear lube and grease. It was when that old grease gear lube smell of vehicles that are old. When you walk down the
Yeah.
alleyway of where the cars were, which was like a wing,
Right.
the smell was there, and I can bring that smell back today and just know that smell. It's just a unique old grease, oily smell.
Yeah.
That's usually when it's
Yeah.
old.
And they had that cool general store there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely recall that. Yeah. They had a Corvair there and a Corvette there.
Mhm.
I don't know. They might have got rid of those cars.
I don't know if they had any brass era cars. I think they have. Well, Blake has donated a bunch of money to it. I don't believe he's with us anymore, the brothers. But the one brother had a big car
Mhm.
collection, Oldsmobiles, I believe he collected. I've worked on them. And
Wow.
Prescott, Blake, and I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
My parents were involved
Hey,
with it when he did the Blake Library. My parents had donated some money for a room or
Yeah.
part of the library, and that's how I've known the Blakes. But I believe a couple of his Rolls Royces are there. And if you don't know who the Blakes are a famous two brothers who started Friendly's Ice Cream,
Oh,
and they
Oh
lived
my
on Jupiter
gosh,
Island.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
Blake's. Yeah, Friendly's Ice Cream.
Yeah.
Love Friendlies.
Wow. Cool.
My father worked for
listen.
Breyer's Ice Cream. So
Oh, I like that too.
ice cream.
Oh, oh wow. Having all kinds of fun.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like all your co-hosts, but the other guy from Michigan,
Yeah, Frank.
Frank. Yeah. I haven't heard from him in a while, of course.
We're gonna have to have him
but,
call in. He's
Yeah.
he's a great guy. He's a
Mhm.
good dear friend of mine.
Yeah. Well, he was very interesting. He had some good stories. But what I was going to say is if he was here, I would tell him that I just put a couple of deposits down on a ZR1 and a ZR1X at Les Stanford Chevrolet up there in Dearborn.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
Who knows if that'll pay off.
Oh,
He
that's
said
nice.
there's 300 in line for the ZR1.
Well, the
80 in line
ZR1,
for the-
there's been
for
a
the
couple of
X.
good videos where they drive them next to a GTD, which is, Ford's. It's different style, but it's the
Yeah.
GTD is I mean,
It's
everything's expensive,
Yeah.
but the asking price for the GTD is, well, it's made by Multimatic, actually. It's a joint venture between them and Ford, but it's different kind of car,
yes.
but similar power. I mean,
Yep.
your ZR1 is
Yep.
what flat plane crank twin turbo, which is pretty much
Right.
outer unearthly. I mean, it's alien stuff. I mean, the power of that ZR1 and that suspension and just the way it's
Yeah.
violent. The
Well,
delivery of the
what I
power
really
is what
wanna-
I've heard.
Yeah. What I really want to get is the X version though, with the hybrid.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yes.
And yeah. And
Yes.
so I got a deposit on for that too.
Oh.
But the reason I want the hybrid version is so I can sneak out of the neighborhood in the morning without having to start the engine.
Or you could sneak over and pick me up in my neighborhood, and you and I could go out and drive it around.
You're right.
That'd be a possibility.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we could do a
Well,
road test
uh,
review of it.
We'll see.
I'll see you in 2 years.
I've got all kinds of ideas here.
Very good. That's a good one.
Well, you should hear his idea about
All
the
right.
Yugo that he wanted.
Yeah, I'm going to get a Yugo and make my autocross special out of it. You know, that special limited
Oh.
edition, the sticker edition Yugo where they had the stripes.
Oh yeah. Cute car.
So,
All right. Well, I'll let you go. But
Fabulous. Thank you for
great
calling.
show as usual.
yep, we're going to
All
have
right.
some
Happy
Lee
to be here.
Zeldin information here coming up with the EPA, which Ford has done some
Okay.
interesting stuff. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
Very good.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Bob.
Catch you later.
Take care.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Bob.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, let's wind this tire thing down, and we'll have it the whole show. So, zinc oxide was made to make them white. Carbon black was the secret elixir that brought us to today's tires. Tires wear 10 times as long with carbon black added to the rubber mixture. It's usually 25% by volume. And today we use synthetics and other synthetic rubbers that uses other types of vulcanization. So vulcanization is a word that goes beyond just the rubber. Goodyear, I guess it's used with other things when heat's involved. So just a matter of point. White wall tires. I told you tires were white. Well, there was a company to save money, used the cheaper white rubber and the carbon black on the tread. So by natural design, it created a white wall. I guess that stuck, and that's really kind of where white walls came from. A throwback to the zinc oxide with the carbon black on the rubber on the tread. How interesting. And then in the 60s, I will conclude with the red line or red wall tires that were so famous in the 60s. Came out in what year? 1967. Hot Wheels, those little toy cars that I still have, my original ones, the ones that are very valuable are the ones that are called the red line Hot Wheels.
Oh, remember
They had
those.
I still have all mine and a whole box of about 30 of them. I have about 30 red line Hot Wheels. I would above fair condition. I mean, they're not mint, but they're pretty close. So I have about 30 of them.
That's neat.
Okay. Let's move on to the update on, we're going to talk about our scheduled maintenance. So I am holding it in my hands, and obviously everyone listening can't see it, but I'll describe it. Let's say that you're a new customer or guest that comes in and you new and you want us to not only change your oil, but evaluate your car and look at it. We'll put together, and it will show you what we're going to inspect based on time, mileage, and other factors. The magic machine called the computer will put together your factory scheduled maintenance that is due at the time of the mileage. This one here, for example, is a 2014 FJ Cruiser with a 4.0 V6. Current mileage is 150,000 miles. And it goes through, and I'll give you an example. Lubricate the propeller shaft, which is the drive shaft. That's a service that the factory recommends. At 150,000, replace the cabin air filter. Now, some of these will be frequently recommended throughout the life of the car, but at 150, this is what pops up. So this is our first piece of paper that we can give you that would be things that you need to do whether you really have looked at the car or not. I mean, it's items that will enhance the longevity and safety of your vehicle while at the same time giving you peace of mind, right? You've got replace the clutch fluid. If you have a manual transmission, replace the engine air filter, replace the engine coolant. It gives quite a description of the type of coolant that's in your vehicle and what's involved in the process. You have to replace the engine oil because that's originally what you would come in for, and we're doing. Retorque the propeller shaft bolts. Apparently, they must have had issues with them over time becoming loose, and it's the job of the technician or the service facility to retorque them and tighten them just to make sure. If they're to spec, that means that was a good thing. But if they were loose, it was a good thing too because we had caught it. And then we have a thing called catch-up maintenance. It's a 1, 2, 3-page item. It's very clear and concise. I love them. And they're unique to your car. It's based off of the car, the VIN. It's not some canned, person just pushing the buttons telling you, it's based off of the factory. And at Crown Car Care, the factory maintenance mileage and time is otherworldly. It's too long. We've talked about this, that waiting to change your oil when they say some 9,000-10,000 miles. I'm still waiting to find out what oil they're using it. Everything I read and what I do, it's the same oil that I change cars at 4,000 to 5,000 miles. Same oil. There's no special 10,000 mile oil or 100,000 mile coolant. It's all the same coolant, basically. Different types, of course. Say, for example, General Motors that say would recommend a 9,000 or 10,000 oil interval. And there's no special part numbers for the filters in the oil that we have to get because it's that special 10,000 mile oil. That's just regular oil, synthetic of whatever weight is called for in a car.
What about that oil that they're talking about for 100,000 miles?
Okay, what that does is
that all about?
That enhances the pliability and the elasticity of seals. It has additional zinc in it for metal to metal, less wear. So there's characteristics that are added to the oil from additives, and all oils have additives. That's what gives you the different ratings, the API ratings. American Petroleum Institute has different ratings of oils, numbers, letters. So high mileage oil is just a perfection of chemistry by smart scientists that work for the oil companies that have formulated an oil that, I don't know if it prevents. I would say it, maybe it does prevent. It prevents, I don't think it is the fountain of youth, but it can help with oil leaks and things that are minor, where the seals have dried out. These oils that are high mileage will maybe provide a little more rubbery flexibility to the oil seals, so you might not have oil dripping down the valve guides, causing you to have a puff of smoke at a traffic light. If you ever see a vehicle, by the way, and they're at a traffic light for a minute or two, and then they give it gas, and there's that one-time puff of smoke, and it smells like oil. Caravans, Dodge Caravans used to have it. They were notorious, that V6 motor that was in there. The valve guides would wear out in the valve seals, and oil would drip down in the combustion chamber.
But if they have an oil that they claim for 100,000 miles,
it's swelling the seals, basically. I don't really push it. I don't, if the customer wants it, I'm not I'm not.
Well, here's my question. Are you going to have a different oil filter for that too? Because they're not.
It falls into the same category as that special 10,000 mile oil. I don't know if it exists.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
Are you covering up a problem that could cause you possibly?
Right.
There are some elixirs and additives that have valid science to it. I have to admit it. Tekraline, that additive for injectors, is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's used in many products. In fact, I think many gasoline, Mobil gasoline, I believe, uses it. Or Chevron uses it. Excuse me, they make it. Mm-hmm. And then there is a printout here, a list of all the open recalls or recalls that were on this vehicle. So for this vehicle, there's 1, 2, 4 recalls. So you're aware of it. And then that's the final page. But is invaluable mean it's priceless? Yes. This we give to you because we're embedded at both of my shops. I have one on Cove Road, one in Palm City, Crown Car Care. The internet website's crowncarcare.net. Check us out on Google Business Reviews. Take a look. I'll warn you, though, there's a bad one on Yelp. I don't even know what it is. There's this Yelp bad review. I can't lick the thing, and it is what it is. I have no idea what it is, but you always get them. if I'm doing the right thing with 100 people, somehow there's going to be one that I tickled the wrong way, or my hair wasn't quite combed right, or something didn't go right, and of course you're going to get that. It shows authenticity. I never try to scrub anything. It's truth and honesty. If I screwed up and the world wants to know about it, I'm okay with that, and that my business is okay with that, because we are what we are. Good people that provide over 20 years of service. And that's rare for my business. Been around 20 years. I do a radio show religiously. You can call and ask me at 772-220-9788, just like had Bob had called it earlier. Frequent caller. Love that man. He's smart. Good man. So that's the scheduled maintenance. Let's move into an update on the EPA. Lee Zeldin, several weeks ago or a month ago, mentioned that he found it unacceptable that the manufacturers allow, when the DEF fluid gets low or malfunctions on these diesel trucks, that puts it in D-rate or limp mode, and it only gives you a certain amount of mileage to get back to wherever you're going or the repair shop. And on some of them, like Dodge Cummins, you actually have to reprogram the thing to get it out of D-rate mode. Well, Lee Zeldin said, this isn't right. I'm giving guidance. Well, Ford Motor Company is the first to bite the apple. And I believe, from what I've read and heard, not firsthand, but secondhand testimony or stories, that you can get your vehicle updated on a software basis. And I can do it too. I do it at my shops. I have all the factory software. I update computers, if anyone was curious. All your software updates that you hear about cars, I do them on most of them, not everyone. Some I don't do. I don't do Maserati. I don't do Ferrari. If I could, if I had to, but I don't. It's just a matter of using the right pass-through device and getting subscriptions, but it's doable. I had to. Ford now will do that. And it's going to cost you, but it's possible to get this death countdown turned off or eliminated. So pretty cool. Why pickup trucks aren't selling is another topic I thought I would discuss today. Why are the showroom floors just full of vehicles, mainly pickup trucks? Drive down anywhere on the street. Do we have somebody that wants to talk to us?
We do. We have Tim who wants to talk to you.
Sure. Hi, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Super duper.
Let me just turn this down. I know you guys talking about tires and that, but I had a question on. Have you guys ever used the Seafoam product
Yeah.
for motor treatment?
Wonderful product.
It's a good product.
Yes. And
Okay.
there are different types of seafoam. The seafoam that most know about is the liquid that's in a screw-on can that has like that
Right.
1950s kind of look to it, and it's red and white, I believe.
Yeah,
Many
that's what I
people
got.
use it in the marine industry. It's a fabulous product.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I got a 2019 Mazda CX-9.
Yes.
It's got 50,000 miles on it. I thought my brother told me, he goes, it's a good product. So
It's a good price. Now, make sure. Here's what I can tell you I know. Some of the seafoam products, you can, if you put the right dilution rate in, you can put it in the oil for cleansing. You can put it in the gasoline, or I believe some diesel, for cleansing purposes. And
Yeah.
some people poured it in the upper combustion chamber for storage capability, when you store a vehicle over time so it doesn't get corroded and rusty. But Seafoam is the tried and true go-to product that I haven't heard a bad review at all. I have cans of it in my shops I use. No issues at all. Just read the directions. And if you have any other questions, please call my shop and ask me, because I would hate for you not
Very
to do it right.
wow, I appreciate your help.
Really good stuff, though. Really good stuff. It's some of the
Yeah,
top
my
of
brother had a couple of Corvettes, and he said he used it. So
fabulous. It's fabulous stuff. And Mazda's a great product too.
Yeah.
Back not now, but Mazda has majority owned by Ford. To be honest with you, much of the technology on Mazdas is tied
Right.
to Ford technology. And if you've known me for a long time, I'm a big Ford guy, and I love Mazda. So good choice.
okay, Very good.
Thank you for calling.
I appreciate the help.
Thank you.
If I got
Have a
any
great day
questions,
now.
I'll give you guys a call.
Sure, absolutely. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Interesting. Seafoam, good stuff.
Yeah, I've used that.
I believe it originated from the marine industry. Sea foam. See?
Mhm.
Pickup trucks aren't selling, Ray, because they're too expensive.
Oh, they're very expensive.
People just can't afford
Yeah.
85,000, 90,000 for some of these gussied up pickup trucks.
And they have a nice resale value too, but but they last for a long time.
They do. Henry Ford, when he first started his business model, he wanted his workers to be able to afford his product. I argue that many of the workers in the automotive industry can't afford some of these products. And maybe that's why they're sitting in the dealer lots.
I think so. They're real expensive.
They're out of reach
Yeah.
for the average man. And we're just average, and that's all I am. And I certainly am not buying a new pickup truck for $75,000, $80,000. I can't see it.
Yeah.
But some people do. I don't have my pulse on that, but I do know that I know why the problem is. And interest rates are high.
A little bit.
Right? And if interest rates are high, the cost of money's high and the cost of the product is high. It's a recipe for like the housing crash we had in 2008. And there's predicted that there's going to be a crash in the automotive resale value of vehicles because there's a glut of new ones. So take it for what it's worth. I just know that it is reality that there is a backlog of vehicles. So there you have it.
No, you see a lot of them on the
No,
lot,
they're everywhere.
You know?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Even year-old trucks, they call them, this. You want to take a break in about, I think we'll take a break in about a minute or two.
Sure, let's do that about a minute.
Minute or two, right?
Sure. Yeah, we'll keep going. We're on a roll.
I'm one of these. I can't multitask sometimes. Sometimes when I'm on a roll here talking on the radio, in the old days, you have an actor on stage or a performer in vaudeville. They have a big long cane that was like crook shaped, and they'd grab them and pull
them off.
That's about how I operate.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep you going. And
Just pull me off when I need to.
yeah, I got the cane over here.
Perfect.
Okay.
And so let's roll into. Well, we've done everything. I guess it's time for I Remember. And this is one of my most special stories about me. Once I tell the story, I believe every one of you that's listening, and I think there's a fair amount listening out there, will understand a little bit more about me. This story took place at Butterfield School in Libertyville, Illinois, and the year would be 1973 or 74. And I went to a unique school, and it was just because it was presented to my parents and my. Let's take a break and then we'll finish this up.
Yeah, because I think we ought to hold on. Remember until we come back.
It's a really cool story, and
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's interesting
Yeah.
because there is something interesting. Let's get.
And I hate to cut you off.
Nah,
in the
let's
middle
go.
of it.
Just go. Take the break.
Yeah,
Then we'll
let's
come
do
back
it.
and
Let's
finish
take
this
a-
thing off.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 1 minute. Our number is 220-9788. It's the Crown Car Show with Todd Harris.
You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. Got a question or comment? Give us a call now at 220-9788. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Crown Car Care, providing trusted high-quality auto repair services since 2006. Here again is your host and owner, Todd Harris.
So this title of my I Remember is 21 Rubber Bands. I went to a school called Butterfield School in Libertyville, Illinois, mid-70s. it was what they called an open school. I guess it was experimental. I don't know too much about those details. I was just a young kid going to school. But here's the deal. There was no walls in the classrooms. And you picked your classes every day that you go to. You picked them. And if you were a decent student, you'd get a thing called a gold pass. I kid you not, I still have mine. And this was a laminated pass that allowed you to do anything you want during the day. Anything. You could go to home economics. You could go to music, shop class. You could go to the library and read all day. That's your choice. Of course, you had to get good grades, requirement, which I would get all my work done in like the first 3 weeks of this quarter or semester. And then I have the whole rest of the time to learn on my own. I was always in the shop class because that was the closest thing well, if you look at me now with cars and fixing things, it was a fairly decent fit, but it was wood. And my instructor, his name was Mr. Kankar, guy with blonde hair, drove a X19 Fiat, I think.
Oh, I remember those.
He made a proposal to all the students in his class, and he handed everybody 21 rubber bands. And he said, here's your project. Every one of you make out of wood or whatever you want a vehicle. And we're going to have a tug of war contest. Who has the most power to pull the other guy across the line? And then obviously it would be he had some kind of system set up so everyone would have a chance, and then you'd ultimately compete for the winning prize, which I don't even remember what it was. But I took my 21 rubber bands, and everyone was building theirs in class, showing off, talking about it. Most of them spent more time how it looked than how it functioned. Of course, if you're doing a tug of war, I would think some of those rubber bands, you need to use that to make the thing go, right? Everyone designed elaborate systems. In fact, the instructor, he competed in it too, and he was making something highly elaborate. I mean, this thing was just unbelievable. Me, on the other hand, did it in the basement of my house. I made wood wheels, and ironically, we're talking about wheels out of wood, and I made them round, and I used my axle shafts were those center posts and lamps that would go up where the cord would run up. It was made out of like a steel or metal, and I cut them to length, and that was my axle. And I used a nail, and you had a weight. There was a weight that you had to be at. You only could have so much weight. And every one of those students, including the teacher, used every one of their rubber bands for propulsion. But I didn't. I used 2 rubber bands per wheel for traction, a tire. I dressed my wheels a tire. So I was shy, 2, 4, 6, 8 rubber bands out of the 21. And my question to everyone out there, what's more important, power or traction, or both? I was the only one that did that. The teacher used sandpaper. He thought he was clever. He put sandpaper, glued or tacked them onto the wheels for his traction, because it was on the wood bench of the workbenches that we worked on. And I'm probably the youngest guy in the class. I mean, I'm very young. It could be like 3rd grade. I mean, I'm that young, yet there's 8th graders competing in this, an adult, the teacher. And there's me. Very quiet, shy, skinny kid. I don't know. I don't know what I weighed, but I do know I had to wear a belt or else my Circle O jeans from Sears would fall down. Remember those Circle O jeans?
Oh, yeah.
With the white label on the back. Well, I wore them.
Oh.
In addition to the clothes that my mother made me and had to wear to school. You mean those polyester pants that were hand sewn on the sewing machine that you wore, Todd? Oh, you betcha. And leisure suits?
Oh.
You betcha. No one else did, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
I wore those to school.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know any different. And that's the charm of how I grew up. I didn't know what that was. It was embarrassing probably for some people, but not for me because I didn't know any better. Well, I made my vehicle. It wasn't the prettiest one in town, but it had 2 rubber bands per tire. And I'm my youngest kid in there probably. And I kept winning. Beating all that, and kept winning. And I beat every student in my car. And then I had to go up against the teacher because the teacher was your final. Because he thought he had to catch me out.
The final.
And he
hurdle.
put effort, thought, and careful craftsmanship into his.
Mhm.
Mine, I put functionality in. It looked okay, but it certainly wasn't going to win any design awards for how it looked. It was strictly a platform that had propulsion. And the rubber band wound around that steel axle. And because I used a steel axle, it was strong as it's super strong. I could wind that rubber band up to get so much power and torque is what you're looking for. But those rubber bands stuck. And I pulled that guy's teachers they had to catch my car before it went off the bench. Those big square work tables that you have that are like laminated wood stacked up.
Yeah.
Okay. I pulled his all the way to the end. It was ready to fall off and they had to grab it. And here's what ruined it for me.
Uh-oh.
Everyone got mad.
Uh-oh.
Everyone was mad at me for winning. It was I was almost shunned. It was because I wasn't part of the boys' club there. I wasn't part of that group that made them in the classroom. I just kind of did mine on my own, and I smoked them bad.
That's
And
why they didn't like
And
you.
nobody knew what to say because nobody in the entire school that did this, the 21 rubber bands, used the rubber band for the traction. I was the only one that did it. And when I think back at it, in the basement of my house that I lived at on Hunters Lane in Libertyville, Illinois, 1220 to be exact, I don't know what dawned on me to use the traction, but it was one of those moments that I knew something was special about it. I just knew. I knew I was going to win, actually. When I walked in, I kind of knew. I got
confidence.
I wasn't confident because I was very shy and timid, and I didn't project confidence. But inside that little man that always is hanging around with you and your personality, that little soul that's inside you,
You got this.
I knew I had it. But it wasn't a sweet victory.
Mhm.
The victory was myself, me and I. I mean, I celebrated it with myself, but I realized that sometimes in life, the lesson I learned from that was victory doesn't always bring happiness at the level that you think you're going to get it at. It taught me one thing: never give up, always think different. And it's been my secret sauce that built me who I am today with those type of events. I have other stories I'll tell over the course of my radio show. I have one, the goldfish that got away, is another story. You'll have to hear that one. It's a good one. Maybe we'll do that one next week. But we have to take a break, and it's time to go, and it's over. The show's over. So there was 21 rubber bands, folks. That's all she wrote. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week for the goldfish that got away.
Oh, I can't wait. All right. So you can join us next week, next Wednesday at 5:05 on 1450 WSTU Stewart.
You've been hearing Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. We're more than mechanics, we're family, serving Martin County since 2006 with trusted high-quality repairs you can count on. We'll talk again next Wednesday.
You've been listening to Crown Car Show on WSTU Stewart.